What's going on, guys? This is Papi Platano. Come here from the It Doesn't Matter podcast. We got our co-host today. We have Stratfax John Lee. We got the returning guest BDC. We also got another co-host tonight. We got the delectable Rose Hefner. Oh! And we also got the host of the show, the guy who's going to give us all the questions and give us all the lead into the show tonight. We'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. This is the notorious one, DOM. His name is Dom.
Boom.
Boom.
What's going on, fellas?
What up?
What up?
What's up?
Let's get right into it. Raw debut on Netflix. And guys, what a great show. It was a successful show. Everything looked amazing. But let's get right into it. Let's get right to the elephant in the room. The most electrifying man in all entertainment, my man, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the High Chief, whatever he was saying on the show last night.
Wow.
Yee-hoo!
That was terrible.
Come on, you gotta watch some Maui, man.
Whatever. I want to know what's up with him and Cody. That's just dead. They good all of a sudden. What's up with that?
No. Like
Nah,
I said, tell Mama Rose I said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Well, he had that Terramana in his system.
yeah, I think he just went into TKO exec for last night. He left the final boss character kind of on the shelf, somewhat in the very beginning, and then was real tame about it when it came to the actual tribal combat. It did feel a little off, but it was cool nonetheless. I did think he was going to do some sneaking. He was going to sneak attack somebody, but that didn't happen either. So it kind of just looked like he was playing the role of TKO executive last night. At least that's what it looked like to me.
What about you, Rose? You think he dropping the final boss gimmick and playing, the main
No,
man?
I agree. I think it was just he was in boss mode. He had to be the boss for the premiere.
Strat, what about you?
He couldn't.
Well, my bad, Rose. I thought you was done.
No, you good? Go ahead. Thank you.
What about you, Strap?
It's always too early. It's always too early. You never know with the People's Champion, the final boss, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. You never know. But just from appearances only, I would even dare say that they're gonna just bury it. Like it ain't happening. No Cody versus Rock this year. The Rock just sometimes life gets in the way of proper planning, and I think there's just lots going on in his life. And I don't think he's going to get around to it this year, or maybe ever. Every appearance we get, we're lucky, we're fortunate. We got him in a tag team match last year. We got a new incredible gimmick last year, and no one knows what the future holds. Not even the almighty Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself. So, in my opinion, I think that they're closing the door on this story for this year.
All right, well, let's talk about another story. My man of the Hustle Nomics, Dr. Thugonomics, John Cena, he made his return. This is his farewell tour, and he's saying that, he don't see himself winning the 17-time, being 17-time world heavyweight champion, but his journey is going to start at the Royal Rumble. Do you guys think John Cena is going to win the Royal Rumble?
No.
No.
That's unanimous. Nobody thinks he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Do you guys think that John Cena will win that championship, though?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it'll be the last match that he wins, and it'll be the last match he'll have ever in WWE. So it'll probably be a send-off, kind of like they did with Sting in AEW. So it'll probably end up being like Randy Orton, because Randy Orton says he wants to finish his career with John Cena. Maybe have that 16-time versus 16-time and see who actually is going to be the 17-time champion. Randy would have to win 2 more titles to do that, but I think that'll be the send-off. It'll be Randy versus John Cena on whenever time in December. And that's just my opinion.
That's fine.
That's actually pretty sound. I hadn't even thought about the fact that Randy's looking to end his career along with John. I hadn't even thought about that. That would make actually a really entertaining storyline. You know, both of them going out. Of course, that would mean that you would have to put the strap on Randy at some point along the line. Um, and then you kind of putting Randy back into his very familiar role as heel. So,
What about you, Strap? You agree? Him and Randy finishing it out?
Oh, they're just gonna hug and kiss each other, Randy Orton and John Cena, at the end of the year, aren't they? You know what?
I hope not. I mean, damn.
Well, I don't know what you're into, BDC, but all I can say for myself is, no, I don't want to see it either. But John Cena chasing his 17th World Championship, is he going to win the Royal Rumble? No, but it's a very compelling story for him to jump right in there, throw his hat in there, just get some names in the Royal Rumble. Why the heck not? You know, be the first one announced in. Cool. You got a top contender in there for the Royal Rumble. Let's make it exciting, right? As for the 17th championship thing, Sting did retire as a champion, so let's not forget about that. And also, with Triple H, you know, running the day-to-day operations, who's a bigger Ric Flair mark than him? He won't. I mean, Triple H will do what's best for business, but would he break Ric Flair's 16 world title record? Sure he would, if it's good for business, but I don't think he really wants to. So, but where else do we see John Cena this year? Like, he even asked the fans that. You know, he's breaking the fourth wall like he always does, talking to the cameraman, talking to us, the viewer at home on Netflix. Who do we want to see him wrestle? Who does John Cena versus insert name here does it make us excited for? And right now, I don't have a name. Does anyone else have a suggestion?
The Ring General Gunther.
That's definitely gonna happen.
Hair versus hair. I got you.
I'm not feeling that one too much. I'm not feeling that one too much. I mean, he brought up old names. I mean, obviously CM Punk will be one. Kind of be a rehab. Will kind of be a retread on a retread on history. I mean, if you look at the people that were around when he like legitimately left full time, I mean, how many of them are really actually in the top tier at this point? It's Randy, it's Punk, it's Roman Reigns to a degree, because he was not full part time yet. He was still kind of in and out. There's not a whole lot of names of people who were full time when he was full time there anymore. And at this point, I don't know if you really want to put him in the ring with newer talent again just to bury them on his tour.
Well,
I don't
Gunther's
think you
not
want to
getting
do
buried. Gunther's not getting buried. He's putting.
Yeah, which is why I'm not feeling that match, because you know Gunther's going to win that, and it's just going to. This is supposed to be a feel good tour. He's going to get derailed if he goes up against Gunther at this point.
Hey, Strap facts.
He's not gonna win the title off of Gunther. That's not happening.
Strap, question for you. Do you remember the Kurt Angle finale tour on WWE? They might do some shit like that. His last match would be something like a Baron Corbin type.
Yeah, Baron Corbin. Yeah.
Hey, I loved it when they announced Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle in Boston on Monday Night Raw. A little throwback to all of us TNA fans at the time. And man, was that a piece of junk? Because Kurt Angle got hurt. He got injured. So, and then another match. I think that was a local SmackDown, either the Mohegan Sun or something in Connecticut or nearby. Tonight on Kurt Angle's retirement tour, Kurt Angle versus the phenomenal AJ Styles, and that was a piece of shit as well. You know,
what was the one when he dressed as the Shield when he came down from the crowd?
Oh my
that
goodness.
was a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that.
I think that was either Roman got sick or he was hurt.
Unfortunate.
Who did they go against? Do you remember?
I think it was the Authority.
So
If I
don't remember either, but
Yeah, I don't remember.
all I know is they released a special edition Kurt Angle as a member of the Shield action figure. Oh my God, it's Kurt Angle's head on Roman Reigns' body. I am not spending $24.99 for this.
I might have to get that just because of the silliness.
Oh my God, don't get me started on silly wrestling action figures. You know, back in the day, I searched out for a Matt Morgan in WWE figure. He was on the main roster for like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know.
You mean they have one of those?
I had no clue about that one.
And one item in particular, it was they made these larger toys, like 10, 12 inches for the kids, for the children. And the one figure that they made that surprised me was Grand Metalik. And I was like, man, I gotta get that stupid Grand Metalik giant figure. And I actually found it. I found it in North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina. I found it,
Good old
and much like a good toy hunt, watch my words, toy hunt, I just put it back. I found it. I can say I found it, but I did not need to buy it. I put it back, but that was fun.
All right, well, back to John Cena.
Grand Metalik here on the It Doesn't Matter podcast.
Rose, who you think John Cena gonna, end his farewell tour with?
It has to be Orton. It only makes sense if it's Orton. It doesn't really make any other sense if it's anybody else. I don't think he fights Orton for the title and he leaves with the title, though. I think he wins it, mid-year or something like that. So he has time to lose the belt. I don't know when. I don't know from who. But I do see him winning his 17th title and end up losing it again. Hopefully pitting somebody over, but who knows?
Just be transitional.
Hey, I'm down for the tour, but can I get John Cena being tag team champions one more time?
No.
With
With
who?
who?
With his childhood idol, R-Truth. That's good TV right there. That's gold right
We
there.
can win the tag titles with Little Jimmy.
That'd be gold right there. I would love that.
You do realize John's only got maybe like 40 or 50 dates throughout the whole tour. He's probably not going to be on every
Well,
Raw.
they don't defend the tag titles anyway, so it make no difference.
That's the
Yeah.
whole point of it.
Speaking of dates, Nikki Bella
just-
there in the front row.
Yeah. Yep.
You can look, but you don't marry. What were we talking about? John Cena? John Cena and R-Truth should not be tag team partners with anybody. I mean, really, he's very entertaining, but how about those tag team partners? The Miz, they came back to that after many years. The Awesome Truth, they had a great moment in WrestleMania XL last year. He teamed with Goldust toward the end of his run, getting Goldust kicked off to a fifth dimension known as All Elite Wrestling, and R-Truth and Kofi Kingston had a cup of coffee too. Lots of coffee talk here on the IDM pod. But John Cena and R-Truth, hey, that'd be a fun thing if they had a house show, but they don't do those anymore. But it would be fun to see, of course.
Just get him a moment at the Rumble, call it a day. Don't
Yeah.
need a
I
full
want him to
count.
win it, though.
That's probably going to happen.
Don't have him be number 30 either.
Uh-huh.
Let him be at least like 22. Get a good 15
23.
minutes in, whatever.
Hey, you think it will be worth it more if he say won Money in the Bank?
No, he's already won Money in the Bank and he failed to cash in. So
Which will be all the more reason why he wins Money in the Bank this time, and this time he succeeds at
He
it.
gotta win.
I hope he don't win that
He gotta win
neither.
Elimination Chamber in
No.
Toronto. He never won that.
add that
Yeah.
to the bucket list.
Yeah,
Oh,
do it in a way he's never done it before.
or he can win King of the Ring. Okay, he get that title shot at SummerSlam, win in the summer.
Yeah, I can see something like that happening.
I can see that.
And
Yeah, I can see that too.
That would make a little bit more
Ooh,
sense. They give him time, like you said, to build
you can
and
get Cody and John Cena at MetLife. SummerSlam.
Is that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Nice.
Unites at MetLife.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Possible. Yeah, let him win
No.
King of the Ring. King Cena.
Don't call him that.
no man.
All right, well, we're done with John Cena. Let's talk about the tribal chief. Come, my man Roman Reigns. He went against his little cousin Solo Sikoa in a tribal combat match, and my man Roman Reigns, he emerged victorious, reclaiming the Ulafala.
Bless you.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
First of all, I gotta ask my man Rose this. I know you love them damn Kobe's he had on his feet.
Yo, those is fire.
It's fire. It looked a little different.
Those are
but
fire.
Fire. Yeah. Roman's in the press conference like, yeah, I like Jordan. I like Nikes. I love Kobe. This might not be Laker territory, but they right down the road. Everybody respect Kobe Bryant. So there you go.
I agree.
But guys, did you guys think Solo had a chance to win in that match?
No.
I don't know.
I did.
It was a few, teases, with Paul Heyman.
Only if the swerve was on.
What's that?
Only if the swerve was on. He wasn't legit. He wasn't winning straight up. It was only if there was a swerve. If the CM Punk favor came into play, or the swerve was on. That was the only way. It wasn't gonna happen straight up.
I was hoping we got another member, a new member.
That would have been good too.
So I was hoping, but didn't happen. It still ain't happened yet.
It was a swerve though, because Kevin Owens came out of
Zilla?
nowhere. I didn't expect that.
No, I wasn't expecting that either. When I saw that, I said, "Uh-oh, Solo's gonna pull it off and be the new tribal chief." But Roman Reigns with the Super Cena kicking out at 2.5.
Yeah.
Shocked the hell out of me.
I'll tell you what though, in last night's Raw, there was a lot of false finishes.
Was
A lot.
Yeah. Yep.
a lot of kick out of finishers.
Not a fan of that.
You gotta protect your finish.
Personally.
You have to.
Yeah. The finishes aren't generally protected anymore, it seems.
But yeah, my man Roman, he regained it. And what's next for Solo?
Yeah, in the bloodline.
No, he said he's got to acknowledge the tribal chief in a previous interview with Tama Tonga, but we'll see what happens with that because who loves Solo more than Tama Tonga?
Jacob.
Yes.
Keenan and Kel.
So we'll see
Orange
what
soda.
leads up to that because you got to remember when he was talking about the whole tribal combat, I'm talking about The Rock, that is. He said, I am the High Chief, but Roman Reigns will end up, or Solo will be the tribal chief. And the way he said it and he looked like, it doesn't matter what you guys are, you're still underneath me.
It's because he has a lazy eye.
Is that why you had the glasses on?
He raised the
Man, you're
eyebrow.
old, man.
Correct that.
Take the
Mom.
glasses off.
Father
you can see
time.
his eyes like, come on, man. Trying to show you're sincere.
Oh, boy.
Well, speaking of the bloodline and speaking of being high, my man Jay Uso came out with Travis Scott. My man, he was lighting up that stage as Pat McAfee was saying last night. I'm like, wow, they doing this on Netflix now. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope Jay do not take a pull of that joint right now.
First epi.
What? That wasn't a vape pen?
Oh my God. I'm like, this is what we're gonna see now on
There's nothing vape about that.
on the shows now.
That was some cigar weed.
It's practically illegal everywhere, brother. It is what
Was that
it is.
before they showed X-Pac in the crowd?
Indoors.
X-Pac.
Yes,
Yes.
X-Pac.
Road Dogg would have been
Yes.
out there. He's been having a good time.
Yeah.
You could have had Godfather out there.
man.
Travis Scott didn't even know where he was.
He sure as hell didn't look like it.
He didn't know where he was. He didn't care where he was.
He been paid
Too
to
cool for the
fucking-
room.
Terrible.
He
Looked at Jay like, oh, I'm supposed to go down there? Oh, okay.
was blowing smoke at that little girl face. He had no cares.
He didn't care. He did not care.
Not at all.
Start riots, spit at people. That's what he does.
Well, you want to talk about riots and people spitting? Brian got the chain on right now. Let's talk about Hulk Hogan. How he made his return.
Why?
And man,
Yeah.
Got booed out the fucking
all
building.
the boos. That shit brought me back to 1996 all over again.
There was no point in him being there.
that gave me a thought. It's like, okay, this keeps happening, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna keep happening. Why does he come out as like Hollywood Hogan? Right?
That's why I was telling Rose.
It's gonna happen, and they're gonna cheer or boo you anyway. So you might as well be Hollywood Hogan.
I was telling Rose, I'm like,
Well,
he's gonna be at Saturday night's main event. Paint the beard black, embrace the hate, talk mad shit, and you know how to make some bigger heels. Line Hogan up with the New Day. See what happens.
Bruh, what?
They could be like, oh yeah, Hogan, they don't understand us.
Bruh. Why?
Wow.
That ain't ever gonna fly, bro. You know that. That ain't ever gonna fly.
Be like, Biggie can't be here for us, but Hogan's always been here for us.
What if they miss?
Hogan, I've been caught on videotape too.
You want people to get jumped up in here. I see what you're trying to do.
Oh,
But wait a minute. The next Saturday night's main event, isn't that in Texas? Oh, he gonna get cheered there.
No, he not.
California is the Democratic
Yes, he-
state, but
and I think it's San Antonio. He definitely gonna get cheered there.
Republic.
No, he's not. Hogan's done.
yeah, Hogan's done, bro.
Them cheer days is over.
I had people call me today about Hogan. Undertaker, he represented
Hogan's cheer days are over.
Our next president too, but he got cheered.
Well, here's the thing. Undertaker was there, got cheered. Triple H was there, got cheered. Stephanie was there, got cheered. I mean, Stephanie and Triple H were in Mar-a-Lago like 3 weeks ago for Linda's event. They got cheered. It has nothing to do with the politics. It has everything to do with everything Hogan did before he got into politics. But him doubling down on it with his political choice hasn't helped him.
Yeah.
He need to go back and revisit our show talking about TNA and the change.
But this dude literally did a Trump rally and was talking about body slamming Kamala Harris. No joke. Saw the video earlier. I was like,
Hogan TV time. Just cut his TV time. It's done.
And we talked about Hogan before. All of us besides Rose, we were all Hogan fans, and usually every single time I hear that song, you see me in action when that song comes on. Last night, I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, whatever.
yo, and it's crazy because initially I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear it initially. I just saw the red and yellow confetti, and I was like, oh shit, Hogan's there. Because I didn't even hear the music. I'm just looking, I'm like, wait, red and yellow confetti. I was like, oh shit, it's Hogan. And sure enough, here he come with Jimmy Hart. And I'm looking at the both of them like deer in headlights, like, why are you
Poor
here?
Jimmy Hart. That man, he was waving the flag. He was all happy. He heard the boos. He fell back. He just.
And I was all like, what the?
He got in the background, like, hold on.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I guess it was the fact that it promo his Real American Beer because that the logo of that was in the ring.
Yeah, they're partners.
Yeah.
Sponsorship now. John likes Real American Beer.
I had a real big problem with Hulk Hogan and Real American Beer. Caused me a day's worth of nightmares in my personal life. So screw you, Hogan. Thanks for messing that up for me. But, it really did. It really did fuck up my day.
Everybody.
Outside means. Messes everybody up. And I can only recall, we've had many shows talking about this very topic, and maybe it's just because we're really hardcore wrestling fans, maybe we're easygoing folks, maybe we're just guys, and we're just like, all right, shit happens, and it sucks, acknowledge it, and other than what at the end of that Hogan talk we had. It's kind of, well, what do you think about it? And even Dom said, except for last night's episode, usually you hear the music, oh, you're jamming, oh, there's Hogan, man. Shoot, you forget that stuff for a little while, but not last night for Dom.
Right. Nope.
And not for me either last night, but, yeah. So, but in recent times, I've bought a bunch of, I'm an idiot. I bought a bunch of Hulk Hogan action figures. I'm compiling them together to create my ultimate Hulk Hogan action figure, because one figure has the bandana, a different figure has the shirt, a different figure has the right knee pad color or whatever, and some people don't believe that. They're like, oh, John isn't really a wrestling figure collector. I'm like, I am. I just never show any of the stuff I have except for Roman Reigns, who is always here on the It Doesn't Matter podcast. But it's like, we know the bad stuff he's been around and done, but it's like, I still bought his figures because I still like the Hulk Hogan from before that, from what I remember, But some people will, just hold that against them, and it'll let them change their future perspective of them, and that's okay too. You're entitled to your belief in your opinion, and it's just getting tougher. It's like, dude, you just need to stay away. You're not welcome here right now.
Right. Right.
Grandpa with the racist opinions, we'll bring you a dish. We'll bring you a plate, but don't come to dinner.
Well, he couldn't even rip his shirt fully off. He looked stupid walking with his shirt down by his knees.
Yeah, he walked out. He walked out literally with his shirt between his legs.
Hogan looked old, point blank.
Hogan's stupid.
Yeah, he couldn't even get down. Like, I don't know if he was meant to only stop there at the entranceway, or if he was actually supposed to go to the ring or not. But them knees was not allowing him to get any further than where he got.
The crowd wasn't allowing him to get any further neither.
That's for damn sure.
It sucks when you have to have that uncomfortable conversation with your significant other who's just a casual, and she's like, so why are they booing? And then you explain to her, and then she's like, oh, fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on a couple of groups last night, and you had the random person like, well, why are they bullying him so hard? I'm like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, don't worry, I got you. I'll answer. Oh, yep, okay. So, yeah, and the thing of it was, there was such a good vibe going until he got there. And it was just like.
It was good.
It like the good vibe was like stumped at that point.
It's like we invited him, but we didn't really want him to show up.
Yeah.
I think they need to learn from this experience. Like, you know what, we can't just show him up there. I mean, granted they have a promotion with him. A merger with him or a negotiation with him, so they got to promote his beer. But other than that,
he don't need to be on TV.
Yeah, you might want to get another guy to sponsor that because this American ain't buying that beer.
No, and that's the thing. Is like, the people that's buying that beer are very much on one side of the fence, and that's pretty much the end of it. So technically, you don't really have to advertise it because the people that are going to buy it are going to buy it. The people that are not going to buy it are not going to buy it, and there's really not going to be the people in the middle. It's like, oh, well, should I really buy American beer, real American beer? Oh, Hulk Hogan's the spokesman, and they make their decision. They're pretty much well enough informed to know whether we're going to buy it or not. What it's going to mean if you do versus what it means if you don't.
All I know is go with a broken skull. You can't go wrong. Either IPA or the lager. And that is not a promo. That's just me saying.
Mm-hmm.
You my guy, Stone Cold.
And that's the bottom line, huh?
Wait a minute.
If I see that beer in the stores, I am buying a 6-pack, and when y'all come to the crib, we are going to drink it together. We're going to toast, and we're going to say, this tastes like shit.
We're going to be like, how old is this beer? They stopped making this shit a year ago.
I'll just go back out the house, be like, yep, not to me.
Come back, Plano. I have tequila.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, like, again, going back to the Hogan thing. Oh, Jesus.
Very nice. Very
Abelhausen.
delicious.
It's Abelhausen.
Very nice. Very kooky.
Or was you going to say something?
So,
yeah, I was going to say something. No, Rose was going to say something.
The worst part was they zoomed out and all you see was middle fingers.
They really thought it was a Broken Skull beer commercial.
That's all I seen on the Everybody booming.
oh, they went off. They went off.
I hope he does.
I gotta say, I love Pat McAfee throughout the whole night, though. I mean, he was on point with everything. they're swearing. He's like, well, they're on Netflix.
Yep. So for the record, we know F bombs will still be censored by Netflix because the first time one popped off, it got censored. But they did.
No.
They let
They
it
didn't.
out.
Oh, they censored.
solo.
Oh, when The Rock was speaking, he dropped one.
I
He
heard.
dropped one toward the end of the speech, and they blocked it on mine. I was like, "Oh, we blocking? Are we still censoring? I thought we weren't censoring."
She rock.
No, Rock
Bullshit.
said,
All the rest of that stuff was real clear when the crowd was chanting, chanting "fuck you" at one point. I heard that very loud and clear, but
Said shit real
no,
quick.
Rock said
He said shit real quick.
Yeah, he said,
Logan Paul got blocked out.
if I go back, yeah, he said, if I come back there and this is bleeped out, we're going to have a problem.
and they may have stopped it after that. So, but yeah, it was bleeped out for me, and that caught me by surprise. I was like, I thought we weren't censoring. I was like, okay.
Well, if you got the right version of Netflix, you would not got bleep. You got to, take that parental
You
off.
gotta tailor
Trust me.
words.
Trust me. Everything and his mother went through very clearly last night. That was the only one time, and I was like, okay.
I mean, I would agree that if the show's live, then you shouldn't bleep it. But if it was on replay, I could understand them bleeping
Yeah.
things. If
I
it was
can
on
see that.
replay.
Nah, I certainly did not watch it on replay last night. Although I was very impressed by the fact that it was up there immediately to watch. Like literally within 5 minutes, it was up there to watch again. I was like, oh, that's
So
very
last
cool.
week when AEW made it HBO, the match we were recording that night, and after the show, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch AEW. That shit was in Spanish. I'm like, hey. And then Stratfat's like, oh, did you let Poppy Platino change your settings? I'm like, so I'm restarting this shit up.
Wow.
That shit was in Spanish the whole damn time. So the next day, I turned it back on and went back to English. I'm like, all right. So
Bilingual.
I mean, this is the
How to get
first.
you ready for Penta Zero Miedos.
Yeah.
This had to be the first Monday Night Raw I've sat down to watch the entire thing since I don't know when, because I'm just not capable of watching Raw live, and I haven't been for many years. So it was just a weird thing, and it's now I have access to it. I have Netflix, which sounds weird to many people. If you've always had Netflix, I've never in my life had it until just recently, and they promoted a few matches for their next week, and it's kind of like, I still don't think I'm going to watch it live. I think I'll still wait. I'll skip around. Yeah. Even though they're in San Jose, they're at the SAP Center, my home away from home, San Jose, California. And I do like to watch those shows and pretend I'm there, but it doesn't look very engaging. But maybe they'll add something in the next week.
all right, well,
Well, unfortunately, I am not in that category. I did fall asleep around 10, so I had to finish the rest of the show today. So I still can't get through it. 3 hours is too long for me, especially the hours I get up. So
next week might be 2. The way it seemed like after the card, it's like what, 3 matches advertised?
I think Triple H said he doesn't have to do 3 hours anymore. Like whatever the time frame it dictates to get the show done, he's gonna do it. He said if it takes 45 minutes, he'll do 45. If it takes 3, he'll do 3. But
That
I
doesn't
think
make
Netflix-
sense at all.
I'm like, Netflix is not gonna go for that. They're gonna be like, listen,
Yeah,
bro, we got some
they-
ads. You gotta get that in there.
You gotta push at least the requirements. And if you've been saying it was gonna be a 3-hour show, it's got to be a 3-hour show. I mean, last night's show was 3 hours and 3 minutes, so didn't necessarily get cut off, even though it kind of did. But I can't see them saying, "Oh yeah, it's only 2.5. We're done here." Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Did anybody get the viewerships on that because it's global? It had to be in at least close to 10 mil. I say at least 8.
I did not get the numbers.
I think it'll be a while before
While
they
you
can
look that up, let's
tabulate
talk about
those.
the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Mommy got the title back.
Show did.
Mommy got the title back. She dominated Liv Morgan. You would think with Dom outside and Raquel,
Raquel outside.
think.
Yeah.
But nah, she did it.
Nope.
Yeah, and she did it clean, like with no outside interference or to help her out. So I was totally shocked. I figured this was going to be a Liv Morgan night again, so that way, you know, have Rhea still chase or find another way to get the title back. But no, mommy's with the belt. She's on top again, and I love it.
And then we heard an old school theme song. It brought me back. So, they brought this shit back.
Yeah.
Rock American Badass. Taker came back with the big ass bike, stumbling, going around the ring. He came back, gave that look, and that was it.
Yeah. So apparently, from what I've been reading, because I saw a couple of stories on it today, apparently that was supposed to be Becky Lynch's time. She was supposed to come out and have a moment with Rhea, but they scrapped it last minute, and thus Taker was once again brought in to kind of help things along,
Fine with that.
just like he was at WrestleMania. So,
Wouldn't that be funny with Becky Lynch confronting the final boss, The Rock at WrestleMania XL?
you know, that would have been absolutely outstanding.
And she still steals the gong noise. Ding. What? Becky Lynch? What is she doing in the Impact Zone?
Yeah, what you guys?
Rebecca Quinn.
How dare you put the chair to my, how dare you put the Superman punch to my husband's face and send his legs spinning? How dare you do that?
Whose shield he is.
Hey, I'm fine with Taker coming out there and basically
Yeah, of course.
paying homage to the new badass of the WWE.
I'd rather him come out to Limp Bizkit instead, though.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what it was. It didn't make sense, but it was what it
Yeah, it was
was.
cool, fun for the
He was
crowd.
like, Rhea Ripley, your birthing rights in Texas.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
Got over there, BDC.
So I looked up I was trying to see what viewership was for it, and while it didn't have a number, what they have here is a chart, and it says views recorded. And I guess this has been since yesterday. Views recorded of particular moments of last night. So according to this graph, which is WrestleNomics, Undertaker celebrating with Rhea Ripley has had 961,000 views since yesterday. Tribal Combat has had 902,000. Rhea Ripley beating Liv Morgan is at 859. John Cena's Royal Rumble announcement is at 690,000. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at 622,000. The Rock acknowledging Cody Rhodes is setting the stage for Tribal Combat, where I guess that was the opening thing, 614. And then The Rock crowning Roman Reigns with the Ulafala is at 587. All in hundreds, all in thousands, so it's like 587,000, yada yada yada. It doesn't mention the Jey Uso fight because I guess that didn't matter. But yeah, it mentions everything else.
Well, I don't think that's very indicative of the entire world because that's a very small number.
Yeah,
the whole world.
It's quite small. It's quite small.
WrestleNomics thing.
Yeah.
That's why I said they
doesn't
didn't
matter.
have. Yeah,
It doesn't matter, but this next match matters. Is your main event for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We've been waiting for this match. We have CM Punk taking on Seth frickin' Rollins. And
Yep.
honestly, let me ask you guys, who do you guys think was going to win this
Yep.
match? Before going
I
into
think
this
it was
match.
gonna be Punk.
Who do you guys think was going to win this?
I thought Seth was gonna win.
I thought it was gonna be Punk, to be honest.
I thought it was gonna be Punk too.
I think they figured keep him hot, especially going into WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. You don't want to lose that momentum, and not that he really needs it, but he's been losing a lot of the matches when he first came back, and now he's starting to get on that winning streak. If he's gonna get hot, getting ready for whatever that favor is, you might as well keep him on top.
Yeah, I think last night overall kind of felt like fan service. It was like everybody who people wanted to win won, so it kind of felt like fan service last night. That was a hell of a good match, though.
Yeah.
It was a really good match.
Who did you want to win? Or who did you think was going to win?
I thought Seth was gonna win. I just felt like he had more of the momentum, but I see why CM Punk won. It makes sense. It makes more sense, but.
They put the graphic up there. It's his first match in 11 years. It's his second match in 20, whatever, in a year's time since he came back. So it's like and it made me think about it. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, he's been hurt the whole time, and I don't know what contract he signed, but it's like, just for him physically, it's like, you need to be rolling around in the ring a lot more than you are just to have your body in shape for that, because they don't do the house show loop like they used to. But every time he's out there, I'm just worried he's going to get hurt, and it's a tough feeling to shake. Never mind what this fan thinks. What does CM Punk think? How does he feel when he's in the ring? When he wasn't a suicide dive or anything, but he just landed hard outside the ring. I was like, oh my god!
Just like, I thought the same thing.
Torn ankle.
When, yeah, it was like he was leaning against the table, or I think it was a suicide dive. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, I hope my man not hurt. I think like he grabbed his knee or something like that. And I was like, oh no, here we go.
No, here goes another year.
I can't do this. Like, granted, yeah, he is 46 years old. He's not old in the wrestling business, but he's been out the business for a minute.
Yeah,
he's still not ring ready because he's not wrestling every night. Like,
he's not taking repetitive bumps.
So,
well, kind of like when Hulk Hogan was doing those. What are those? The squats? What is it? The
Hindu squats.
The Hindu squats. We saw backstage CM Punk doing some kicks to the ceiling randomly. The Rockettes move. If that helped him out at all, so who knows? But no, I mean, CM Punk pick up the win. I think it was the right thing. I think Seth Rollins. He's earned it, but he's had his time as a main eventer in recent years. So it was supposed to be CM Punk anyway. So let's heat up CM Punk, and let's hope we can get this run, and hopefully Phil Brooks gets his one night main event of WrestleMania, half the way to Psycho Sid's record. So
you got
two.
Well, before we
you are half the man that I am. With me, the main. Let me do that again. Can I? Oh.
No, we're live, pal.
No.
You only get one shot.
Before we this, talk about Raw on Netflix, Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view, and they announced that next year in 2026, that's just going to be in Saudi Arabia. What the hell?
Well, guess what, Dom? Go screw you.
What the hell is that?
Another 2 years for Dom.
That's terrible.
It's that money.
I saw that and immediately was like,
Get your passport. You can get out of there.
Honestly, it does not scare me because I've been to that part of the world last year. So even though the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is not one I want to go to, it doesn't scare me as much having been to the United Arab Emirates, where my family, part of my family, still lives. So I thought about it. It's like, if I'm not going to fly to Indianapolis for Royal Rumble, I ain't fucking flying to KSA, brother. Although I love international flying, man. I love it so much. It's so good. The feed you so good.
IDM podcast. Boom, boom, boom. No boom.
No boom. Cut promo in front of building.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, that was a fun topic. Whose phone's going off? God damn it. Do not disturb.
Not mine.
Do not disturb. Because we are going live, pal. We taking it back to January 11th, 1993 in the Manhattan Center. Raw made its debut, and we have Sean Mooney outside the building, right in front of them. What the?
We're live, pal.
We're live, and he's
Oh my god!
Well, gentlemen, we are now a ship without a rudder on. We are
Where'd he
just,
go?
Well, just like in Raw, we just kicked Bobby Heenan out. He can't get in. We keeping it Raw. So let's go. Oh, he got in. Dom is back in.
What the hell happened?
Oh man.
He saw Rose drink some pomegranate juice and he
Her
lost
said,
his
boom,
shit.
boom. He hit the boom. Oh Lord.
oh man.
WWE, get the F out of here.
Yeah. All right.
Dom, we're about to do the whole damn show without you, just like Bobby Heenan trying to
What the
get
hell
the show.
happened here?
Hey.
Don just wanted to get into women's clothing,
I have
like
I
Bobby
have time
Heenan.
for that, but all right.
Oh, Rob Bartlett's my nephew. Oh.
All right, well, let's get to the show. Bobby Brain Heenan, he's trying to get inside the building, but he's been informed that he's been replaced. And we got Vince McMahon, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Rob Bartlett on commentary. Guys, who the hell is Rob Bartlett?
I'm assuming he's a comedian.
Yep. Yeah, he is a comedian. At that time, he was well known on Imus in the Morning, which is New York based, which is kind of how he ends up on Raw at the Manhattan Center.
Wasn't he ever replaced by Howard Stern down the road? Because I know Howard was in New York for a little bit.
No, I think Rob actually ends up getting replaced by Bobby the Brain Heenan.
No. I'm talking about in on radio.
Oh, more than likely, because I mean, Imus eventually went off the air, so I mean,
Sit
All right.
on your speaker.
Let's get back to the show, baby.
Man, who did not love the debut of the movie Private Parts on USA Network back in '97? Wasn't it incredible, guys?
It was incredible, especially we're on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Is that still a damn thing?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Listen here, Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. I got 2 words for you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, well, our opening match on Raw, we have the Birdman, Coco Beware, taking on Yokozuna with Mr.
Still alive.
And guys, this arena right here, you literally take 3 steps, you're in the ring from the entrance.
yep.
They came a long way.
Isn't it nice that you got a Samoan starting off the very first Raw, and you got a Samoan starting off the debut of Monday Night Raw?
Yoko was Samoan at the time in 1993.
Yep. Not a clue.
Rob
Not a
Bartlett, he
clue.
was trying. He said, I always wonder what happened to Gary Coleman.
Yeah, Rob
Girl.
Bartlett. Rob Bartlett was absolute trash.
Yeah.
Absolute
My guy is
trash.
one big butt Oriental. For some reason, he was fascinated with Yoko's ass. I don't know. He was trying. He was trying too hard.
Trying. I mean, but I mean that was kind of their shtick back then. They did a lot of stuff like that. That's kind of where Howard got his rise from, as far as the type of comedy that they did. They used the same type of comedians.
That shit wasn't
Shit
funny,
was
but maybe
whack.
at that time in '93 it
That
was.
shit was whack as hell. Nah, that shit wasn't funny in the '93 either. But you know, people like what people like.
I don't know what
He was trying. I mean, it was probably a hard bit for him because he's like, hey, you're a pro wrestling announcer, just do your stuff, and he's forcing jokes in there, and they are forced, very forced throughout the whole show, and I can appreciate it for being as bad as they were, but as on the whole, it was just not a very good experiment. Probably coming into these Monday Night Raws biased, because I already knew that Rob Bartlett wasn't going to work out and he would be replaced eventually anyway. But no, proof was in the pudding. He was
Trash.
All right, well, Yoko dominated this match,
Dumpster
throwing
juice.
Coco Beware around like nothing. Leg drop, bonsai drop, squash match.
Over.
That was it.
Squashing.
Terrible.
Match is terrible.
Can't say
Yeah.
nothing about it for your opening match. It wasn't no hype match.
No.
typical '90s squash.
All right. Well, after this, Bobby the Brain Heenan is outside, but we see a vignette of him inside talking about the narcissist. You guys want to talk about who the narcissist is?
talking about forced.
Who cares?
Yeah. That would be Lex Luger. Good old Flexi Lexi, as they called him at one point.
The Luger.
yeah, as we discussed in the first episode of Nitro,
Podcast. Tune in.
Plug.
plug. We talked about how he was very just there, no real purpose. Kind of the same thing here. There was no real purpose for him being here. They're talking about Mr. Perfect and how this guy is gonna be everything. I guess essentially everything that Perfect was not, and but yet he's not there, and we just have to wait for him to show up so that we could all be, I guess, enlightened and enthused and shit. And yeah, it was really just a waste of airspace. It really was. It there was no reason for it. There was none.
I mean, Bobby the Brain Heenan getting visually parched as he kept talking on and on. But lest we forget, this is on the heels of that Survivor Series 1992. When Mr. Perfect made his grand return as the surprise tag partner of the Macho Man Randy Savage against Flair and Racer. I speak Spanish, Ramon. No, you do not.
Hey yo,
See, that's how Vince McMahon thought all Hispanics talked. So he didn't think anything of it. He just thought that was acceptable.
You know who you talking to, Chico. Hey, yo.
He's like, what accent is that supposed to be? I'm like, he's supposed to be Cuban.
like I am a country boy with a Cuban accent.
Starship Coyote. But yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan going on endlessly about Narcissus, who we knew would be Lex Luger coming up, and then they would change his name anyway to the Narcissist and not Narcissus, some Roman god.
All right, well,
Bad promo. Good effort, but bad
our
promo.
next match.
It was one of his worst promos I've ever heard.
Well, our next match, it definitely
That's
doesn't
rare.
matter. It was the Steiner brothers versus the Executioners.
Hey. You leave the headbangers under a mask alone. I don't know who they were.
Gilbert and Barry
Dwayne
Hart.
Gill, all right. Man, you remember that crap back in the Survivor Series, the Deadly Game, 1998? Vince McMahon coming out, I have a former WWF superstar from the early 90s. Ooh. Dwayne Gill. And all my friends at school, it was supposed to be Macho Man. No, sir.
Doink was in the crowd more entertaining in that match.
Oh, yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
he was.
That guy with a busted arm. Why did he have a busted arm?
Because he got crushed.
Yeah, that's just, God, we'll get to that. Jesus.
Basically, the Steiners win with the Bulldog. And you know what the crazy thing is? Seeing Rick hitting that Bulldog off the top of Scotty's shoulders. I was thinking about our interview with Buff Bagwell and how that's what broke his neck. I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah,
Devastating maneuver.
Yeah.
that's scary.
And how
That's how he broke his twin.
And how come I can't see a Steiner screwdriver? Like I see it like in video clips, but never on no like TV. Like, what's up with that?
Mm-hmm.
I think they banned that move after they seen too many people getting hurt. They're just like, yep, get rid of it. It's an interesting move, though. I'll give you that.
Discuss it on the early days of Monday Night Raw podcast, started by Dom.
Nope.
Probably in 2 months.
That's too damn.
It will be.
Maybe
Probably in 2 months.
That's another story. But all right, after this, we
Can't
see
find out
Sean
on
Mooney
those.
outside again, and he's with Bobby Heenan dressed as the woman and saying Rob Bartlett. Is it
Rob Bartlett's aunt.
Rob Bartlett, and he's begging to get into the arena.
He's my nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah. More wasted airtime.
After we see Bret the Hitman Hart, we see Razor Ramon get an interview by Vince McMahon, and he has a title match with Bret the Hitman Hart at the upcoming Rumble. And Vince is letting him know that it took Bret Hart 8 years to get him to where he's at right now, and it only took him 8.5 months. And he got himself right to become the number one contender.
Razor was clean.
Yeah.
He was so clean, they sell that shirt on Chalkline. Look it up. Then Vince McMahon, why did you jump Owen Hart? He said, squashing his brother like a cockroach was fun. There's nothing he can do about it. and nothing you can do about Razor Ramon taking the gold. That's probably the best thing of the night so far.
Yeah, pretty much. It involved Razor, Brett, and Owen. Crazy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the GOAT came on.
Yeah, the GOAT came on. We have a promo with the Tonka talking about headlock for hunger.
Not Tatanka.
Headlocks for hunger, fight for the fallen. It doesn't matter what you call it.
I'm not trying to laugh. He was like, what did he say? He was like, yeah, well, I'm battling for headlock with hunger, and I know something about not eating or something like that. Something in that line right there. Like, oh, Lord.
Like, look, Chavis.
It was good.
Live Aid was created to battle hunger in Ethiopia, okay? It is not.
It's not
Yeah,
funny.
Dom. It's not funny.
I know.
Not
It's so
funny,
funny,
Bruce
Dom.
Pritchard talking about, what is it, methylphenol? What is it called, Abel?
Meso. Oh, if you got mesothelioma like George the Rat,
And BDC,
you can call this number 1-800.
and BDC, what about our Fall Brawl promo from Macho Man? You gotta help my guys out with was it MSU or something like that?
Wait, what?
You guys see in the Nitro episode, he cut a promo like, you gotta help my little buddies out. It's sponsored by Fall Brawl in 1995.
Oh, I'm gonna
My
have to check
God.
that out. I'm gonna have to go check that out. My God.
I'm gonna have to listen to this one because
I ain't gonna look it up. You can look it up on your own time. All right, we got Rogers Boy coming out to wrestle next, and he defending the Intercontinental Championship. The Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels taking on Max Moon, and Shawn Michaels at this time he had the blue IC title.
Lord, the Max Brawler.
That title fire too.
That's fine.
That title was fire. And again, it just shows how good Shawn Michaels really was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good match. Max Moon looked pretty good too, but the only thing about Max Moon is I didn't know what his gimmick was.
He was this
a luchador.
So,
astronaut.
so the story of Max Moon, as I saw it, was that Max Moon was actually a character created by Conan. This was a character that when Conan was signing with the WWE, he was supposed to be getting this character. Got the suit made up and everything, but then he got popular in Mexico. He got so popular in Mexico, he started missing dates in WWE. So they just said, okay, bro, you can go. And they gave Max Moon to another wrestler who was the dude who wrestled Shawn Michaels.
What's his name?
Paul Diamond. Paul Diamond's his name.
Wow.
Yeah. That Max Moon was a concept created by Conan.
I was looking. I'm like, they don't look like Conan. They don't got the same body type, the
same
movement.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But
not Conan.
yeah, by the time Max Moon was on WWE TV, Conan was already gone.
Okay, yeah. That was what makes sense. I was like, something just doesn't look right.
I kind of disagree with that because, like, when I'm watching it, I know that, you know, the story BDC just said, like, I knew that story, but I kept thinking, I know that's not Conan. I know that's not
Yeah,
him.
definitely
But
not.
I just kept seeing him in that outfit doing all those things. It looked like, yeah, it was literally tailor made for Conan.
Yeah,
That was Conan to me. That's just,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
just-
It's like if you know Conan's body type, you could see
Yeah.
Conan being in that suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it fit his body type to a T.
Conan was a thick dude, you know,
Yeah.
the Cuban gorilla. So he's not Mexican. Don't let him fool you.
Well, Max
He
Moon,
said it.
he looked good in this
Yeah.
match. Shawn Michaels looked great in this match. And
Yep.
Shawn didn't win with some sweet chin music. He won with some type
my
of
God.
suplex. Raj, what kind of suplex was that?
I learned this from Instagram. Yes, so it was on Instagram, and like some people's algorithms are the same, some are not. But in mine, and it'll be there for a few weeks, they're like, did you know that Shawn Michaels' original finisher was the teardrop suplex?
teardrop?
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck is a teardrop suplex?
Only
And-
reason I know is because Raw is war.
And that's right. So in the video game, his finisher, it's not sweet chin music, it's not super kick, it's teardrop
That's what it
suplex.
was.
So it makes you wonder, why didn't he ever just leave that in his repertoire? Normally, it's not like it was a difficult move to do. It's not a Ricochet 630. It's not Mustafa Ali's inverted 450. It's a suplex, a back suplex.
Nobody do that move.
No one.
It's basically like a shorter version of an Olympic slam if you think about it. But anybody can do it. But like you said, it's simple. But maybe because the super clip
was
is more
dumb.
impactful.
I think it was. I think it was a move. It was a move designed to show off like some muscle strength, and
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, as a smaller guy, needed to show it off. So he's like, well, I can be a big guy. I can suplex people. And so as his career went on, he's like, I don't need to do that. I can be a high flyer instead.
This just shows Shawn Michaels has been stealing the show since day one. That's what
But look
that
at the
show.
competition around him. You got
Who's fault?
Tatanka and Razor Ramon cutting promos. You have Dwayne Gill and
Shawn Michaels' fault.
Coco
That they-
Beware.
It had damn Coco Beware versus Yokozuna and the Steiner brothers versus two created wrestlers. That's not Shawn Michaels' fault.
Yes,
he
you
had
need to
Undertaker
Shawn
fucking
Michaels rose
Undertaker,
above.
the boogeyman before the boogeyman. Like,
Yeah.
You leave Marty right alone.
All right. So after this, they have an advertisement for WWF Mania. Do you guys remember WWF Mania? Was that on TV?
I don't remember that too much.
Neither do I.
The way they advertised it didn't make any sense. The purpose of the show didn't make any sense. Just the name of it, WWF Mania. It's like, okay. But it was a show when I first got into wrestling. When, guys?
95.
So it was on Saturday mornings, 10 or 11 on USA, and it was just a highlight show. Todd Pettengill was the host, and that was just another show for me to watch to catch up on wrestling at the time. It wasn't, like I said, it's nothing to officially remember, but it was new in 1993. But yeah, it was just, they had tons of shows back then, but it was just a highlight show. That's why you'll never find it. Like, it's not relevant at all. It's like watching The Bump
Like before Superstars?
now.
Or it's like Superstars at the same time?
No, Superstars was around before that.
It was probably established by then.
But it was just like Todd Pettengill just showing the highlights of Monday Night Raw. A 1 hour show, Saturday mornings, showing highlights of a 1 hour show from Monday night.
All right. Well, after this,
And then they turned it into Live Wire.
I remember
With
Live Wire.
Sonny and Todd Pettengill.
Venom, I remember that.
Remember Livewire?
All right. Well, after this,
Yeah, and then they stopped doing the call-in feature Royal Rumble weekend because it was so busy. They're like, we can't take calls, and they never brought that gimmick back again.
good.
Typical WWE, making a new show, pushing the hell out of it, and then just dropping it dramatically.
Well, I think there was a phone call that came from, my name is Paul E. from New York, and I want to say, why do you put this dude in this match? I'll just leave it at that. Figure it out.
Good old Paulie. Good old
Well,
Paulie.
after this, they show a few competitors who's going to compete in the upcoming Royal Rumble match. And after that, Sean Mooney's outside again with a bunch of fans trying to get tickets for next week's Raw. But we see Bobby the Brain Heenan dressed again, and he's still determined to get in. And then after they showed,
Still no entrance.
I'm surprised. Netflix, I watched this on Netflix. They showed the 900 number you can actually still call. I'm surprised they didn't blur it out. They're uncensored.
Well, I guess they figured if somebody's willing to call, they're willing to pay for it, so why not?
Probably.
Maybe fast forwards to subscribe to Netflix.
Basically.
Probably.
All right, well, after this, we see a video package, and we see Kamala getting attacked by Kimchi and Harvey Whippleman. And then Reverend Slick comes down to the ring to protect Kamala, and they take his ass out, too.
And then,
Then Kimchi runs
then he
away,
gets
and
whooped
Harvey-
on.
and Kamala chases him. Or Harvey Whipple runs away. Boy, I don't remember Kamala having a babyface, turn.
I do vaguely.
it was short.
I remember that there was a time that he was under Slick.
Didn't work.
I didn't remember that he got jumped by Kimchi, but I did remember that Slick was his manager for a bit.
When did Kamala
I
go
don't
to
remember any
WCW?
of that.
94?
Yeah, when did
Yeah, I
Hogan
think
left
so,
in like
'cause-
'95? So he came
Hogan was
with them.
94 in WCW. So yeah,
Was it '94?
Yeah, because I mean, he
he
was
was
he
on Raw at one
was
point in '93.
he was in that. I think he had associated with the Dungeon of Doom at some point
Yes.
in
Yeah.
WCW. So
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the next match is our main event. We have Damien Demento taking on the Undertaker. Guys, who the hell is Damien Demento?
An overactor.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Another bum.
Another bum. And Rob Bartlett said,
Of another-
"Who's the guy with the martini shaker?" Womp womp womp.
wah wah wah. I guess
Good old Rob Bartlett.
You missed that. He tried to do the Mike Tyson voice during the Shawn
Oh.
Michaels.
Well, Mike
that
Yeah.
was
called
horrible.
Bad.
Hey,
That
man,
was so bad.
Horrible.
like what?
Like, what's that move? I'm gonna use it in the yard. I'm like, yo, this is
Oh
terrible.
man.
It killed on Imus, but
Like-
in Manhattan Center, nothing.
Like, I mean, I remember when Mike Adamle was there. Mike Adamle was bad, but damn. Like for the longest time, I was like, "Oh yeah, Mike Adamle's the worst we ever had." But I really think this guy was the worst that they ever had. This dude is terrible.
The sad thing is, Mike couldn't help it. CTE was really like the biggest issue with him, that he just wasn't diagnosed with it. And then when you later find out, you're like, "Oh, sorry, Mike." It's like he really tried his hardest. But
well- And the thing of it is
Like Adam has me?
and the thing of it is, I remember when he was doing commentating for American Gladiators,
Yes.
and he was not that.
no,
He was not that. So
And no dude has CTE.
That's how he got the job.
yeah,
He was signed sight and sight unseen,
yeah,
just like
he
Mr.
wasn't
America.
Terrible. Anyway,
What do you mean you signed him sight unseen? Dad, I signed a superstar. He might look like Hulk Hogan, but I don't know.
anyways, this
Forgotten SmackDown storylines. Next.
was
I
a
remember.
short ass match. Undertaker wins with a tombstone.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was it.
yeah,
It's terrible.
yeah.
Pathetic.
Damien Demento and his Craven the Hunter gear.
And after this,
He reminded me of the
So
Boogeyman. He had the
Basically like
the
the movie,
Boogeyman
Bomb.
cadence.
Yeah, he was like a combination of Genghis Khan and Craven the Hunter. All the worst qualities of both.
The hairstyle of Christopher Daniels. Almost.
so after this,
Yo.
he's out there with Vince McMahon. Vince is telling Doink, "You gotta stop making these kids cry." And then Crush comes out. He threatens Doink. And then Doink just shoots him with a water gun.
He shot him with the water gun.
Crush chases him.
That was funny. That was funny.
That's
That
it.
That's probably the best thing of the fucking night. Minus Shawn Michaels, man. I did look at Roger. He's
That
mad.
was it.
Oh,
And
God.
to close the show,
We all know what the best part was.
Sean Mooney and Bobby the Brain Heenan's on the rooftop. You can finally go in. Yeah, I can go in. Yeah, show ends. That's it. That is your debut episode of Monday Night Raw. God, from this episode to
Definitely.
all the way to Netflix, what a big difference. What a big
How? Look. The obvious question is how, but then when you really think about it, they really had to get their grind on.
That first episode was hard to watch.
Yeah,
That's hard.
difference. It was only
Very hard to
45
watch.
minutes.
It's just like our
It flew
show.
by.
Yeah, it was a painful 45 minutes. Or like a painful 35 minutes.
Just think this same show survived the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
There was no wars back then. in
I gotta
93.
think. I mean, it was a different look, a different presentation than what they were showing. When you think about, say 1992, you know, you can think about Wembley Stadium. You can think about some of the superstars matches, tapings. You know, lots of things happened on those tapings. Bret Hart getting his first world title from Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog swapping for the Intercontinental title, and they were always done in packed arenas or what looked like packed arenas. And here comes this new idea, this new show. We're going to call it Raw. It's going to be more intimate, more in your face. You can see the fans' faces all the way in the back row, you know, that kind of deal. So it was supposed to be different and look different. I mean, we see it today, and we're just like, ugh. But I guess it was really different at the time.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into account, and maybe people did like it. Maybe people did appreciate a new look, even if it doesn't look new to us.
I'm not doubting that. I believe that clearly it was a success. They kept going on with it, but
looking at
that don't mean it wasn't hard to watch now.
The most impressive thing from that show for me was hearing Crush's theme music, which apparently I've never heard before, because Crush went through so many gimmicks, right?
Yeah,
so he's right now he's the Hawaiian surfer dude, brada, from Hulk Hogan's hood, brada, and he has the worst accent this side of Razor Ramon, and his music goes boing, dun 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 dun. Dun, dun. I was like, yeah, I like this. I like this, Crush.
Wow,
Shit.
That was my shit back in the day.
Randy loves Crush back then. But man, what a terrible accent.
I'm a fan of
Why is
that.
he Crush? Because he likes to crush things.
He was crushed because he was in Demolition. You have the axe, you have the smash, and you have crushed.
and he was crushed.
Here comes the axe.
This still doesn't go.
Here
No.
comes the smasher.
Axe,
Then I
smash,
don't want no
flatten.
crushing in here.
Well, that
The
is
Swiftie
it.
song?
For
He like orange crushed soda.
Raw's done.
He even dressed like it.
Raw's done. That's it. It was a good show.
It was like this
The
show.
debut show could have been better, but it is what it is. It was 1993 at the time, and
The bar was low.
they had no competition. Cause Ric Flair, he was in WWE at that time. That's why.
Was he still on that real world champion gimmick at that point?
He
No.
was there, but
By then,
I
Brett
think
was the champion.
he didn't care about the real world champion. That was shit over and done with.
Now, have any of
like-
you guys ever been to the Manhattan Center where they filmed this
No.
Monday Night Raw?
I haven't.
No.
Is that the same thing as
Have you?
Hammerstein or no? No, okay.
No. So, I have. So yes, it's the same building. The Hammerstein Ballroom and the Manhattan Center Grand Ballroom are in the same building, the same facility. It is literally across the street, diagonally from Diagon Alley, Harry Potter, diagonally from Madison Square Garden. It's also adjacent to the New Yorker Hotel, which I've also stayed at, which is pretty nice. But separately, the Hammerstein Ballroom, where AEW just filmed a bunch of episodes recently. You literally walk in on the ground floor. You walk in on the ground floor. You're at ringside level, and then it only goes up from there. And it's a beautiful, tall space. The Hammerstein Ballroom is. Now, to get to the Manhattan Center, where Raw was taped, where you saw this crowd, man, this was movie magic. How they made, I see it like there's so many people there, and all that stuff. And I remember being there. I'm like, this is impossible. Like I sat on the stage. I literally sat on the stage where all those fans were, but they had bleachers, elevated bleachers that go like a cell phone signal, right? For Ring of Honor, when I went, they're all on flat plane, so you couldn't see shit, so it sucked. But having been there, and I'm just like, they did such an amazing job fixing this place up to look like it held so many people, because it is small, it is tiny, and you're like, you can't believe that this is where Monday Night Raw originated from. That's the Manhattan Center Grand Ballroom. If you can, they still run wrestling shows, not just AEW, not just TNA. Other groups do it too. Other groups run wrestling shows at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Nitro Podcast.
The Rock is on.
So it's still available to go to these legendary venues and see for yourself. Like every person you bring, because everyone has a friend that they bring to a wrestling live event for the very first time, and guaranteed one of the first 5 things that they'll say is, that ring is small. So you can say it to yourself wherever you go to a wrestling venue, be like, wow, this place is small. So
Yes. We'll make our way to Manhattan Center one day. Never know. Maybe we'll do a live show there.
someday, warm. Yeah, we'll have the people build a set for us. Take one day with a good
There
crew.
you go. All right. Well, next week it is StratFacts Choice, and we are taking it back to 2002, and we're going to talk about the reign of Triple H. We're going to talk about when he came back from his injury. We're going to talk about when he won the Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about his World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to talk about The Undertaker, The Rock, Booker T, and so on. John, why'd you choose
Will you be
Triple H?
Will you be talking about him wetting his pants when he came down to the ring?
If Strat want to talk about it, he can talk about it.
Whatever Triple H wants to moisturize on his way down to the ring, that's his business and us other fans. But I made a point to Dom mentioning this very topic. I'm like, think about a whole year, like someone's calendar year, just January to December. And who has had a more dynamic calendar year than Triple H himself? Just think about it, guys. From 2002, okay, playing that U2 song, whatever it was, his comeback song, Beautiful Day, because he tore his quad and he's coming back from injury. He makes his return at Madison Square Garden, gets the largest pop this side of Edge's return a couple of years ago, all right? And then he goes to the Royal Rumble. He wins that mother effer. I'm spoiling the show next week, but it doesn't matter if we're spoiling it or not, because this is history. You can look it up yourself. There's no spoiling history.
2002, baby. You pay attention.
Listen, an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs. And you're welcome for that. That's right. Rung by damn rung. You can still walk on it. So here he is, big number one babyface. And then he goes to WrestleMania, main events that mother effer, but it gets overshadowed by his contemporary, the people's champ, The Rock. All right? So he's the biggest babyface. Then he turns heel. He turns heel that summer, gets his best friend out of retirement, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And then Triple H begins his reign of terror that we did not know would be his reign of terror, as he becomes the unqualified World Heavyweight Championship given to him by Mr. Eric Bischoff. All right?
Bitch-off.
And then he goes to the end of the year. He's the most hated man, the most unwanted man in all of professional wrestling. But that's Triple H, that dynamic dude, January to December, as we discuss that on next week's It Doesn't Matter.
Hope you could remember that, so I ain't got to take no more notes. So.
You only have one job now. You have one job.
We got one job, baby. That's what you said. One job.
Right.
Show up and we're going to ask the questions.
All right, Platino. Thank you for this show. Now close us out.
Well, everybody, we want to thank you for coming to the show. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Anything else we're on there? We're on X, TikTok.
If you have TikTok.
I do. I don't know what the hell the thing is right now, but we'll get to it next week. I am Papi Platino. We have BDC. We have Rose. We have StratFacts. And we also have Dom. Oh, guess what? You guys can enter the show. Show's over. Good night. Boom.